All right, welcome to Fortran Bootcamp Part 4. This one's going to be relatively short. We're going to talk about user-defined types. In other languages, these are called classes, and they are very, very useful. So, let's say I want to be able to store some information about all of us, and we are people. So I'm going to declare a type called person, and type person. And I say, well, a person has a few things. A person has a height. A person has a weight. Logical. Is happy. We'll go back to our original discussion about variable types. So I have now declared this is now sort of a container that says each instance of this person type will have an attribute height, it'll have an attribute weight, and it'll have an attribute is happy. Okay? So I could come down here and say, well, I want type person, and I'm going to say Corey. And so I've initialized this new type. I have an object now that is called Corey, and I'm going to set its attributes. So Corey dot height is equal to, I don't know, some ridiculous number. Corey weight is equal to 12, I don't know. And then Corey is happy is equal to true, because I'm happy. So this % here is how we access, I don't know what they're called in Fortran, how we access these, I think they're called attributes. The % is how we access the attributes of this type. So Corey is a type of person, and person has height, weight, and is happy. So Corey has height, weight, and is happy, and we access those using this %. And then we could just come down here and do right Corey height and that will tell us what Corey's height is. Jeremy's about to ask a really good question.
Can you set default values for your type?
Yes, you can. In your definition here, and you can do this with variables that you just declare in, you can do this with variables that you declare in just your program scope, just by saying equals dot true. And so now by default, any object that I create will have this is happy be true. So even without having initialized it, is happy is true. If I come over here and create another object, Jeremy, and we'll see if Jeremy is happy. Jeremy is also happy, because by default, a person is happy. So that's how you specify default values. There's more you can do with initializing these. There's more you can do with initializing these types and passing in these values all at once. I won't really get into that right now. We're going to talk more about initialization procedures when we talk about type-bound procedures in the next video. And that's when things get really cool. So we'll not worry about that right now. But this is just a basic introduction to types. User-defined types are really nice because, you know, like we were talking about in the last video, if you want to be able to return multiple values from a function, one good way to do this is through a user-defined type. So, you know, if you've got a function where, you know, you're always going to have to be returning say some sort of array and then a couple of booleans telling you about that array and then maybe a character label, you could create a user-defined type that has all of those attributes to it. And then inside your function, you just initialize one of those types, set all the values, and then pass it back out. That's one really good way to do, or to use user-defined types. Again, this is all the basis for object-oriented programming, which I'm a huge fan of. I think object-oriented programming is really the way to go. And we'll talk more about the nuts and bolts of that in the next video again when we get to type-bound procedures. But I just want to do a quick video just introducing this idea of a user-defined type. And you can have, so if I were to declare, and let me just to make sure we're clear on things, if I were to declare another type, let's see, what can a person have? A car. And type car. And that car, maybe it's got, let's see, logical runs. That's an important thing to know about a car, whether or not it runs. If I'm going to put this up above person, because then I can say a person has a car. And we can say person's car. And so now, if we were to reinitialize this, then each of these objects, Corey and Jeremy, would now have a car object associated with them. And we could come in and we could say Corey, person's car, runs is equal to true. Thankfully, my car runs. Okay? So we can have, I don't know if you call them nested types, but an attribute of a type can be yet another type.
Parent types almost?
No, because this isn't inheritance or polymorphism or anything like that, which you can do that in Fortran. Well, I don't think we'll get into that in this series of videos, except for just one small aspect of polymorphism that we'll discuss. But no, it's not a parent type.
Okay.
It's just saying that person has a car. In computer science, you always talk about the difference between the is and has. Parent types are all about is. This, where we're talking about attributes here, that's just has.
Gotcha.
Okay? Cool. Any questions about types? Okay, I think we're good then. Thanks for watching.